Hi and welcome to Inside Scoop. I'm Lexy Savvides, joined by Shara Tibken, senior writer for CNET.com. Now Shara, we're talking Apple's third quarter earnings. Traditionally the weakest quarter. Has this been the case this time around?
Yeah, it was another weak quarter for Apple, which was actually kind of surprising. People had really expected the iPhone momentum to keep going, but we actually found that they didn't sell quite as many iPhones as analysts expected. I mean, this isn't saying it was a horrible quarter. It was actually, a pretty strong quarter. They sold, 47 million iPhones, but analysts were expecting 49.
And what did Tim Cook say on the call? Did we get any insight into other parts of the performance from Apple this quarter?
Tim Cook is always very optimistic, always saying everything's great, everything's wonderful. So when it came to the iPhone, he said, everything is great, people are still buying them. But the issue for Apple is we're coming up against some really hard comparisons. The iPhone 6 is the biggest device that they've ever sold, both by the screen size and for demand. Millions and millions of people have been buying this. So the problem is, what can they do with the iPhone 6s that really gets people to buy the iPhone again and not just hold on to their older device.
And going from screen sizes to the smallest screen size on the wrist, which was the watch, which is obviously a big part of the earnings this quarter. What sort of insight did we get into how Apple Watch performed?
We didn't get much insight at all. Apple said that they weren't going to break out Apple Watch sales, and they didn't. It falls into the other products category, which now also is iPod, Beats, accessories. That increased about $900 million, $952 million actually, sequentially from the second quarter, which didn't have the Apple Watch. You can't just assume that that means they made $952 million from the Apple Watch, but they said all of their growth in that category came from the watch. So things like iPods, accessories, those are still dropping a lot. Beats probably also had a weak quarter, but we don't know because they don't break it out. Apple did say that the watch is doing better than the iPhone and iPad when they first started selling them, but both of those devices were just available in the US at first, whereas the Apple Watch was available in 9 countries. So not really sure if it's quite a fair comparison, but Apple's still very optimistic.
Great, well thank you Shara, and of course if you want to catch up on the rest of Apple's earnings, you can check out our full coverage on CNET.com.